Hey, what's up, everybody? Me, Style Kicks, and welcome to another episode of Quaran-Tea Sunday. Got my tea right here. Take a little sip. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually iced tea because it's hot, so it is what it is. My first special guest today is gonna be someone that you guys will probably know, or if you don't know, you might discover him today. His name is Chris Chase, as known as NightWing. He has a YouTube channel called Wear Testers, and they just reached, they just reached 500K subscribers, and he has a big following around social media. He's really good and knowledgeable about the sneaker wear and athletic shoes, basketball in specific. So I go to him when I need those kind of reviews because he has it down. He knows the tech specs. He's really knowledgeable when it comes to that. So please welcome my friend, Chris. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey,
I'm gonna
man.
actually take a sip of my iced tea too because I'm
Oh,
thirsty.
there you go. Cheers, brother. Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
Salud to the family and everybody else.
Yes. Happy, healthy, and sane.
So how you been doing lately, man, with this whole quarantine?
It's been pretty like business as usual, so I can't complain too much. And the only part of the job that really sucks is just that gyms are closed. So playing basketball to really test shoes hasn't been happening right now. But luckily, I was able to get a court, or not a court, but a hoop to like put up out front. Like I think Steph Curry has the same one,
You got the same one as
coincidentally. Yeah, I didn't know that it was the same one until I saw his built, and I was like, oh dang.
Oh, that's
But yeah,
dope.
so like yeah, we got the front yard hoop set up, so at least like in the mornings, my wife and I have been doing like some runs, and then once we're done running, I'll get like shots up for like 30 minutes to an hour.
Are you able to test some of the shoes with that kind of court, or because it's not going to work the same?
Um, People have asked me to do that, but I'm literally in the middle of the street, so like everything grips. So,
Oh,
if
yeah.
like I'd be able to test pretty much everything but traction, and I feel like traction's the main component, especially for people that play at like a 24 or a YMCA or something like that. So, the majority of the people I believe are looking for indoor information. And we normally test outdoors once we're done testing indoors, but to do it only outdoor, I think would be just kind of like half-assing the review. You know what I mean?
So how did you restructure yourself so you don't have to like just do performance reviews? Like, how did you guys come up with a plan where like your channel will still be maintained in business, but
Mm-hmm.
not lose the focus of what you actually do, which is performance and athletics?
Yeah, we're mostly known for performance reviews, but like that's how like the channel started and everything. But ever since the beginning, I've always done just regular reviews too, like on like retros and stuff like that, because that's something that I'm very passionate about. Is just the re-releases coming back from like my childhood, like getting shoes acquired that
Yeah,
I couldn't get when I was young and stuff like that,
right.
or re-obtaining shoes that I used to have. So like those are the things that I probably have more fun doing those reviews than I do the performance stuff, just because the performance reviews can take a few weeks to, test and get footage and all of that stuff. Being able to just sit there in front of the camera, joke around, talk, reminisce, tell my stories of like how I maybe like originally saw this shoe or whatever. Like those are the things that I think are like the most fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
we've been
agree.
able to do that, and luckily the Last Dance got put on there, and we decided to do like our own like little recap videos
Those are dope. I
and
saw
stuff
those.
like
Yeah.
that. Thank you. Yeah, so like just little things. They don't get views really like some of the other videos, but it's just fun to get it out there and talk about it and discuss and things like that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that next. Like, when you guys post something, do you have to like show it to someone and say, hey, do you approve, or is like you get 100% or whatever you say goes on?
Yeah, so like it's just we're a small like family business,
Yeah.
so it's just me, my wife, and then our business partner Drew.
Okay.
And Drew doesn't really care what we put on the videos as long as it's honest. You know what I mean?
Authentic. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And then my wife and I, like, we were just talking about this the other day because we had posted a video on the Jordan 13 Flints, but like it was not live or anything. Like we had to wait for a certain day to make it live. And then as I was just doing the dishes, and like I was re-going over like the video that we had done, and I was like, hey, should we remove this little, I had made a little joke in the beginning of the video, like literally the first like few seconds. And I was like, maybe some people might consider that insensitive, or whatever. So like we ended up pulling it and then re-uploading, but nobody knew. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
really?
like
I didn't notice that. Yeah.
nobody had seen the original cut, so like it was all good. So but those are the things that like those are on me and my wife, where it's like we are the the filter, I guess, between like the rough cut of the content to the consumer or the viewer. That's the hard part, is that, you know, sometimes things that I think are funny, some other person might take offense to it. So like it's like I have to always like be mindful and all that stuff. Sometimes I don't do it right. Sometimes I do offend people, but you know, it is what it is.
But you know that we see how social media has grown so much big in the last decade,
Yes.
right? And now we're seeing this where everybody's being sensitive what to say, what not to say, like,
Mhm.
and it is a tough line to walk on. And I do, sympathize with you when it comes to that, because you are creating a platform where people will listen to what you say, and they might
Mhm.
may take it the wrong way. So I kind of get it.
Correct.
To do that, you know.
Yeah, it's, you know, it kind of comes to the territory uh even if we're looking back at like 5 7 years ago of a comedian and like their stand-up routine and stuff like that, like my wife and I were watching with our friends some Chappelle show stuff,
Oh
and
yes.
you know what I mean, and like I was like, yo, I don't
Yeah.
know if this stuff would even fly right now, like
No,
it,
you'd be
you
canceled.
know. Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's those kinds of things where I don't ever take it to that degree, obviously, but you never know, something that comes out of your mouth and you just are just messing around or just joking. You don't really mean anything by it, but you never know who it could offend, and all that stuff. So that's for me, the hard part, because something that I'm not sensitive to, like you might be, or vice versa. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or and plus 500K people,
That's a
that's
big
a lot
audience.
of, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of room for error, you know, and you're never going to please everybody. So we do our best, but yeah, I'm sure it's not foolproof.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. And I was going to ask you, since you were talking about the MJ documentary earlier,
Hmm.
after watching the whole documentary from part 1 to part 10, do
Yeah.
you really think that you want to be in Jordan's life now that it's post NBA? Do you think he's happy? Like, I mean, look at his interviews. I just thought, in my opinion, I think he's not a really happy person, even though he achieved so much in the sport world. What are your opinions about
Uh,
that?
I mean, I could see where you're coming from. I think it's because his competitive like spirit or drive is so great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That maybe like you'd never be satisfied with anything.
Well, that's
But
true. That's true.
you know, so maybe that's where along like your thought process is. For me, I feel like the dude's accomplished everything, so anything that he does do, like go play golf every day, which is what he loves to do now,
Right. Yeah.
I feel like he's like on permanent vacation. Like who would not be happy with that? And
That's true.
you know what I mean, and like
Yeah.
and the guy has the most successful sneaker brand in the
That's true.
industry. He's making post retirement billions per year, just based off of shoe sales. So to me, I'd be like, yo, this dude's still killing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like, this guy is crazy.
Like an entrepreneur point of view, that kind of view.
Yeah, like you know, like my whole thing is that I just think that he was maybe a little bit worried about how people might perceive him, especially today in today's cancel culture, and how
Oh,
sensitive people are. You know, they'd be like,
yeah,
oh, I'm like, you know, and that's something that I thought was great with like with our personal just like thoughts on the series and stuff, because my wife and I like have two different, like completely different perspectives on it, where she's not part of the cancel culture or anything like that, and I wouldn't consider her to be like super sensitive or anything like that, but she definitely has a different point of view as far as like the type of person that MJ was,
yeah,
like with his team and stuff like that. And
yeah.
for me personally, I grew up kind of like not just idolizing that, but also like I was playing those sports, and so that's just kind of that sport culture. Like that's what it is like in the locker room or in practice. So for me, it was just interesting hearing her perspective, because she's like, oh, like I'd feel like this about it or whatever, and I'd be like, hey, like I don't relate, but it's cool that we can talk about it. You know what I mean?
It's definitely a documentary that I really enjoyed. I think it's one of the best ones I've
Hmm.
seen in a long time, because it's very
Hmm.
detailed in his life. And I don't think he holds back. He really was honest about a lot of things. Like he really spoke about what
That
he was going through at that time.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it the most, is that you got to hear like out of his mouth all of that stuff, because back when he was playing, He had a lot of different endorsement deals and stuff like that, and so he did pretty much keep quiet. He's not like players today where they'll stand up and protest things and all that stuff. So like he was definitely on the quieter side back then. So it was nice to hear his own context. Not that that's the only side to it, that's just his side.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to hear it from his mouth. And I feel like I'm similar in that way where like if you act like earlier you asked like is there anything you don't want to talk about? It's like not really, just ask whatever, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And
I
so
respect
like
that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's just how I am too. So like I respected him for that, being like, hey, that's dope.
I think that's what actually is saving right now ESPN was that documentary. That's my honest opinion because there's no sports going on right now.
Yeah, but I mean ESPN makes shit up just to talk about it. Like their YouTube channel is a bunch of clickbait stuff. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody will pick their nose and they'll make a clickbait video out of it. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like watching. I like watching Rachel Nichols and like her little crew. And stuff like that of like the former players like Pippen and T-Mac and all of that stuff and a couple of different analysts. But Stephen A. Smith, man, that dude is like, I'm just like, man, sometimes it feels like he's like playing it up for the camera. And I'm just like, can you please
tone it
down? Yeah, just give me your real thoughts. Like you don't have to yell about it every time.
That's
so
true.
Yeah, that's my only thing. But yeah, I feel like ESPN's just fine. Like I said, they'll come up with anything. And it's just weird,
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you also about the NBA. How do you think they're going to bring it back slowly, or how they would get back to normal, or some kind of way to keep us in touch?
I just read before we jumped on. Supposedly, it's official that they're restarting the season, the NBA season.
Really?
And it'll be in Disney, Florida. So supposedly,
how are they going to go about that?
I don't know. Like, I guess the next step that they're working on is like what measurements they're going to take. It'll be fanless, so there won't be fans, but they'll be able to finish out the regular season and then go into the playoffs. So the way that I interpreted what I had read was that they're going to convert one of the Disneyland resort hotels. And then that's where the players and their families will stay. And then they'll go and they'll play their games. And I guess there's like a sports center right there and all that stuff. So,
I mean, I think they have to take precautions, test the players and their family members too, right? Because they can't just go in there like that without knowing.
Yeah, but I as soon as everything started, they're part of the 1% of like the U.S. population, so they have all the money. So they were the ones getting tested already. So like, I think they've already been tested. You know what I mean? They've probably been tested multiple times. Like people like me and you probably can't afford to go get those tests.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. As far as you think athletic and sneaker wear, do you think now the sneaker culture is going to be the same, or we're going to have to like rethink the whole culture of it?
It feels like nothing's changed, honestly. Like it just feels like from what I read in the comments and stuff like that, like people have slowed down purchasing, but it doesn't stop them from wanting to purchase.
Yeah.
And there's like a local store here in Sacramento. I think it's called Authentic Soul, and it's like a consignment shop, like a buy sell trade. So it's like a reseller shop. And they are situated in one of the malls up in Sacramento, and the mall's just like stage 2. So that's one of the things that are open. And their first day back, and like I said, they're a reseller, so they don't sell anything for retail. It's all marked up. They made double in their first opening day than they normally do.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, so this small shop earned like 10K of revenue in one single day of being open from after this quarantine thing. So I think people are just fixing to buy stuff, you know what I mean? Like, which seems weird because of how high the unemployment rate is. It feels like that would not, happen. But yeah. So like, I don't understand like who these people are, how they have money, or maybe they do like who knows what. But yeah, they definitely weren't hurting that day. So it was definitely weird.
Like you see my collection is very casual. I'm very casual wear, the one thing I also noticed that also happening right now, it's a lot of brands are going to the loungewear, and I noticed that that's their marketing. Do you think that's the next step to them to make money?
I think athleisure wear has been slowly ramping up through the years.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's definitely kind of like at the forefront. Like it is basically what I wear all day, like t-shirt, shorts.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like sports looking apparel. But now that's like the thing. So, and I think that all brands are kind of doing a good job at it. Like one of my favorites actually is Under Armour. I love their apparel and how it
Oh,
fits, how it feels. It doesn't really fade,
right.
all that stuff. So yeah, I really dig it.
That's dope. I noticed also you promote the hoopery, right? Do they do some like releases?
Yeah, so the Hoopery is a small business, and they are down south in the San Diego area.
Hmm.
And they just, I mean, they create some of the dopest shit that I've ever seen, and it's all like
Yeah, I seen you. I saw
surrounding.
you wear like a Kobe one with an 8 like vertically or something like that, or horizontal.
Yeah, that was part of their Legends Never Die collection. So like they did a whole tribute thing for Kobe. That was really cool because it had when you twist the 8 sideways, it's the infinity symbol. So it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
then it has his daughter and his number on
yeah,
the sleeves. So it's like, you know, infinity and beyond type thing where like, you know, literally Legends Never Die. They already had like the Kobe versus Kobe stuff, which I had. So like they kind of like make them. It was like young Kobe versus young or older Kobe, and I thought that was really cool. And then they do the What the Hoopery, so it's got like just different '90s style
yeah,
NBA logos. Like I just love what they do because everything they do is my era of basketball.
yeah.
So they have some new stuff coming up, like the Diamond Collection, and it's got Jason Kidd,
Oh
Bleach
wow,
Hair Jason Kidd, which is
they
really dope.
scare that
And
era.
then yeah, and then they have like this Gary Payton glove apparel line coming out. Like just what they do is like super creative, and I just love it. And I love that it's about my era, like my favorite era, because it's easy to just be like, hey, like LeBron's hot or this guy's hot right now. Like here's some, you know, like a beard shirt or whatever for like James Harden, but to pay homage to the era that made them, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that's special.
And talking about Kobe, do you think he's going to be one of the iconics like Jordan in the future? Do you think kids are going to look up to him like that?
I think they already do. There's a huge, like a whole generation that's grew up on Kobe. And so I feel like that's the thing. That's why there's a lot of LeBron fans right now that are like adamant that he's the GOAT because he is their era's greatest player. You know what I mean? So I think every generation has one, and Kobe was that kind of like early 2000s era.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was in high school when Kobe Bryant was drafted to the NBA, and I remember like, holy shit, this young kid playing for the NBA. So I got to see Kobe and Jordan
Yeah.
play at the same time. So I got that advantage.
So did I.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we didn't like Kobe when he first came in the league. Like
Oh,
people
those air
that
balls
grew.
and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just we all called him a Jordan clone, and all that stuff, and so it was just one of those things that he really grew into his role. I believe it was one interview he had where he said that like he liked being the villain, and that's where I feel like he really started to come into his own, where he's just like, no, I'm gonna go into your house and I'm just gonna crush you.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. I mean, he won his first championship in 2000. That's when Phil Jackson was already his coach.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
that
that
was
was already it's like his fourth year in.
yeah,
So I was doing the comparison. I was like, well, Jordan won his first 7 years in, and then Kobe won 4 years in. So
yeah, definitely.
that's a big accomplishment right there.
He couldn't win until Jordan retired, though. You know what
That's
I
true. I knew you're gonna
mean?
say that.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Though. That's
Just
true.
like MJ said, man, you can't win till we quit.
That's true. You think he would have won a seventh if it was signed one more year?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but I mean the league was really ramping up. Like there were so many good teams. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I really don't know. Indiana could have done it. San Antonio could have done it. I
I think
mean,
Kobe wouldn't be Kobe if he wouldn't have retired.
I
That's,
agree.
that's my opinion.
What's really interesting is that when you look back, this is something that I was disappointed in actually that they didn't go over this in the docuseries. But when MJ came back the next time with
Right.
the Wizards,
Yeah.
that's when he really was teaching Kobe stuff. And that's the MJ that I would have loved to have seen his thoughts on those
Yeah.
years.
I was wondering why they didn't show that portion of his career, like the early
I
2000s
don't know.
with the Wizards.
Yeah, it would because the way that they kept telling the story, the story starts and ends with that '98 season. But to give that season context, they kept going back.
Yeah.
And so they were like going back and telling everybody's story and then meeting back up in 98. It would have been really cool for that last episode if they went forward a little bit and then went back to 98. I
Yeah.
just think that would have been really dope. Maybe it'll be an extended series. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. And so before I let you go, I want to ask you, so how is it now with the COVID-19 and the sneaker culture? Do you have any advice for people that are starting up their own YouTube channel or anything like that? Well, how can they go about it where they don't feel like they're being judged or anything like that? Like, what advice would you give them?
Well, somebody's going to judge you no matter what. So don't even entertain that stuff, because those are all your own mental blocks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I take away from this whole COVID thing is how fortunate we are that it hasn't affected our business, because we are an online business. We don't sell anything. We just talk about things. You know what I mean? Like, so being somebody that creates content and creates the type of content that they want to like watch themselves, like what I make is what I would want to watch. And anybody can do that anytime. It doesn't matter if we're in the middle of a pandemic or you're working a 9 to 5, because that's what I had done for the, like almost 10 years before I had quit my main job. I was building this on top of working for someone else.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, like it was not a easy process. Like I was working multiple jobs, saving money and funding the channel, because the channel wasn't making money at first. You know what I mean? Like you all start every business broke.
Yeah.
So like I just feel like it doesn't matter with the internet, with Instagram, with TikTok, with anything, just starting a website, all that stuff. Anybody could do it anytime, anywhere, and you should, because you should really invest in yourself instead of investing all of your time making someone else rich. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So yeah, and it's so simple now. It's so easy. Every camera is good. Like even the ones that we're using right now, they're just cell phones. But I mean, you can start literally on this and you'll be fine. You have no excuse. You just got to get out there and just do it.
Yeah, I seen the progress from the last decade we've done, and now you have like a little studio set up and everything. Now you have your wife incorporated with you, doing some dialogue, and that's really cool. I like that. I see that as as a motivation for people to be like, look, he started like this, and then look at him where he's at now. If you really put in the effort,
that's that evolution. You know what I mean? And when you are creating things, you want to evolve. You want to upgrade that camera, or maybe get that lens, or get that new lav mic, or little things that make everything better. You know what I mean? Getting some more lighting, or redoing your set, whatever it is that you think. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like you're creative control. You're the writer, the director, the producer, and the talent. Like you just do it. Like it's all on you, and it's fun to do it like that. So yeah, like the opportunities are endless because you can create them yourself.
Yeah, that's how I started this quarantine Sunday, because I was like, well, I don't think no one wants to see me wearing shoes right now, so let's make a conversation about shoes or something related towards that subject. So
definitely,
that's why I started this.
No worries.
I wanted to tell you your collaboration with We Are Underdog. How's that going with your shoe design that you guys are in the process of doing?
I actually just saw. We didn't share it, but because the whole thing is like a really interesting process, and I can't wait to talk more about it. Like once I have like one of the products in hand.
Right.
But the last rough sample that we had made, there were panels that we wanted to adjust, and you know what I'm saying? Like when you finally put together a pullover sample, which is like the rough upper, and then put it on top of your tooling sample.
Right.
That's when you can see where the shapes come align and all that stuff. And so what we ended up doing was readjusting everything. The designer like redid everything and all that stuff. And so I just saw the finished new version, and I was like, oh, dude, that shit so sick, man. And like I was just like, yeah. So I was like, yo, I can't wait to like actually like try this. And so they're making a couple of color samples right now, because I'm gonna actually start testing one outside, and then I'm gonna save the second one for whenever gyms open up.
Definitely this year you're gonna have it released, or no?
I don't know, because I think it's been about a year since we announced it.
Yeah, that's all I was asking.
Yeah, and so I know that the thing is that it's gone through multiple iterations already. Like we had one designer on it, and then there was an issue there, and so then we ended up getting a second designer, and then once that was done, getting the tooling made is like mad expensive, man.
I can
Like
imagine, yeah.
you know, because they only made a one so far. It's just my size, you know what I mean? And so like, and that shit's hell expensive. And
I
so
know.
to do that for multiple sizes, we're gonna have to like make sure that this product is legit. And that's my main thing is that like it as much as I want to rush this, like you can't rush a performance shoe. It's not like a casual shoe where you could just have a cup sole
That's
and an
true.
upper and just put it together and it's done. Because I mean, you just wear it. You know what I'm saying? But like this is you're supposed to be running, jumping, stopping. It's supposed to lock you in and make sure that it's stable and supportive and all that stuff. So like I want it to, you know what I mean? Like there's just so much more involved in a basketball shoe where this whole first year has been basically fine tuning just the process to get the first sample out. And then once we get that sample, we can start testing. And that's when the real fun begins, because that's when I could like nitpick the product and be like, I don't like this, or this is great, like let's keep this or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's been real cool. But yeah, I'm excited to get one in hand to like finally be like, yo, look at this thing. Like this is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm excited.
And I'm excited for you when you announced it. I was like, wow, that's awesome. Your own like signature shoe that's like from scratch, you know?
Yeah, no, it's fucking weird, man. Like, but you know, We Are Underdogs is a good example though of that whole like just do it for yourself, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they're a cool company. I like them.
yeah, they're a cool company. They really don't make much money off of all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like they make shoes. Like that's their business is shoe manufacturing, but not this kind of shoe manufacturing. And so they started this whole like little side project as a side project, being like, hey, let's be able to take somebody's design and they can make it. You know what I mean? And like it's really dope that they did that.
Was it a mutual thing? Was it like you reached out to them or they reached out to you, or was it like you guys already knew each other and were like, this is work on something?
Yeah, so I already knew them because we were reviewing their products.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's how the relationship started, and then they approached me and were just like, hey, like we normally make casual shoes, like this is all we do, like lifestyle and stuff. They even make like hard bottom shoes, like dress shoes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And so they wanted to try a basketball shoe, and they were like, you're the guy that we want to try this with because I test so many shoes, and so I know what I like and things like that. So they were like, hey, how would you feel about this? And I was like, yo, this is dope, so let's do it.
Yeah, and congrats on that, man. I really mean it. You deserve it.
Thank you.
You put a lot of work into it.
Thank
And
you. I appreciate that.
I want to tell you thank you for joining me today. I want to leave on a high note
No
because
problem.
we're looking forward to that release. And everybody out there, thank you for watching another episode of Quaran-Tea Sunday.
Yeah, let me get mine too.
It's yours. Cheers, brother.
It looks like beer, but it's not. It's just iced tea.
No, I believe you. I believe you. Let's take a little sip for a little sign off. Refreshing. All right, Chris. Definitely. I really appreciate your time. And check out Chris at weartextures.com, or you can follow him on Instagram at NightWing2303. And check out his work and check out everything that he's posting because it's really awesome. All right, guys. So that's it for today. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Later, guys.
Definitely. Hopefully, I'll be able to make it down south again so we can link back up.
Yes, for sure. That'd be awesome.
You know what I mean? That was dope. So
I would love to. All right, brother. Later, man. Later.
Take it easy. Peace.